solidarity, community, and creativity.
Fursuiting, art, and inclusivity.
Niche, open-ended, and inclusive.
Wild and essential.
Passionate, noticeable, and different.
Passion, discovery, and outreach.
Weird animal people. And I'll put an asterisk on that. I think weird is good. We need more of it.
So I would describe a furry or the furry fandom as a group of people who share an interest in anthropomorphic animals, liking like cartoon movies, you know, like Robin Hood and all that from Disney, and it stems to wanting to create their own fursona, which is a cartoon anthropomorphic version of themselves.
The obvious answer would be just someone who enjoys anthropomorphic animals, you know, whether it's in cartoons, video games, other sorts of media, just the overall design, the aesthetic, just enjoying that kind of content in general.
I would say probably one of the biggest core elements of what the fandom is some sort of appreciation or fascination for creatures, animals, reptiles, birds, whatever, that has some sort of anthropomorphic or slash humanoid representation.
So a furry is somebody who has an interest in animals, be they real animals or cartoon animals or fantasy creatures. That's really the only unifying feature of the furry fandom.
There's also, of course, the furry fandom itself, which has really evolved to be its own thing, its own community. You've got artists, you've got musicians, you've got all sorts of people who are just celebrating this content, and it's great.
I've been in the furry fandom officially for about like a year, like 2 years now. But I think I've been more a part of the fandom since I was like a little kid, because I always liked anthropomorphic animals, but I really didn't get involved like with social media and meeting other people until like 2 or so years ago. I liked it because it was different. I just wanted to meet new people that had the same interests as me, and like I felt like it was more welcoming for people who are creating art that I liked, and like they like the same interests, like Pokemon or other like animals. Like it's just like, oh cool, there's people like me. I contribute to the furry fandom by being an artist. So I mainly do illustrative work, and I do it through Procreate, and I've also used Illustrator, Adobe products as well, but mainly Procreate. I love doing commissions for people. I like helping bring their characters to life, you know, and I like being a visual person, and that's what the furry community is art most of the time. So my fursona is Lilac the deer. She is a white-tailed deer, and the reason I chose her colors is because my favorite color is purple, and hence why her name is also the name Lilac. The main personality trait or physical trait I added was her dots on her cheeks, and really because it matches my physical appearance. So I have acne scars, and it felt like I want to make that a cute feature on my character. I have been making fursuits for about a year now. I started with her. This is my character Century. I wanted to make fursuits because I wanted to learn the creative process of creating them, and I wanted to save money as well, because I didn't have the money then to commission a full suit that's like $3,000, $5,000. So I just put a couple hundred, you know, to just create a head and commission a tail. And from then on, I was thinking like, oh, I love doing this. I love working with my hands. So I made Riker here, and then I made Lydia. What I enjoy about fursuiting is being able to put on the character, you know, like, because you know when you're in theater, you know, you have that character that you want to act out in the play. You can do that with fursuiting anytime you want. And I love that. I was a theater kid, so being able to be a sassy hyena, I can do that. If I want to be a sassy dragon, I can do that. If I want to be a goofy dog, I can do that. You know, it's limitless, it's awesome, and I just love doing it.
My name is Bryn Husky, and I've been in the fandom for about 12 years. My persona is a husky, and back in middle school was when I created her, and I was reading a book that had the name Bryn. And I was like, wow, that's a really cool and unique name. I'm gonna take that. Huskies are my favorite animal, so I just chose a husky because I like dogs. Dogs are simple. And her color scheme, I really don't know where that came from. I think I just wanted a color that matched gray and that was like girly. So I went with pink, and her markings are kind of just something I threw together as a young artist. The fandom has given me a job. Like I've wanted to make art as my job since like birth. So when I found it and realized that there is a huge market for this kind of thing, I was like, okay, I can do that. And working hard towards like, adjusting my style and establishing myself as an artist has really given me a lot of opportunities to do whatever it is I want to do. The fursuit making kind of came after, because I didn't really know how to make fursuits at a young age, and I couldn't buy one because I was under 18. But I honestly wouldn't be able to like afford the apartment I'm in right now without the furry fandom, and I wouldn't have the friends and the things I have without it. So I'm extremely grateful to have it in my life.
My name is Jacob. I go by Cobbs in the fandom. I've been in the fandom for about 7 years. I joined in about 2014. So my persona, Cobbs, is a Corsac fox. I think I definitely knew that I wanted to be a fox in general for quite a while. Between some of the video games that I'd played and just some of the other media that I really enjoyed at the time, I knew I definitely wanted to go in that direction. I saw the Corsac. It's an Asian fox, absolutely gorgeous, and I knew right then and there that that's what I wanted to go with. I think I really started to learn a little bit more about the fandom a little bit after college. I started to get a feel for the community that's out there. But there's really a strong sense of community amongst the fandom itself. And I thought, I could really have a lot of good fun. I could meet really cool people, make some good friends, and the rest is history. COVID-19 has definitely put a bit of a rain check on some of the physical events, like meetups, conventions, all that sort of stuff, which is a bummer. But thankfully the fandom does have a pretty strong online presence. So there's still messaging apps, online galleries, and other ways to share your media. So there's still a great way to stay in touch with everybody.
When the pandemic hit, I noticed a lot of decline in sales for artwork and fursuits because no one had jobs, so no one had money, and with the art and fursuits being a very luxury purchase, it was very hard to keep sales going and keep the bills paid.
COVID-19 has affected my experience in the fandom by, of course, canceling conventions. That's a big one, that's how people all get together, and now that's just gone. But the good thing about the time that we're living in now is that we have the internet, and since furry has always been focused on the internet, we can still talk to each other, and now we're doing virtual conventions, so it's pretty good stuff, We're figuring it out. Can you talk about how the fandom has possibly impacted your life in any way, and if so, how?
My experience with the fandom has been kind of nonstop positivity, honestly. There's so much self-expression and creativity, tolerance for different backgrounds, different lifestyles. It's just this really open community, very friendly. It's been a great experience through and through.
So the fandom has positively impacted me by giving me new friends. I made friends at school, that were furry. I'm like, hey, we're furries, awesome. I also made friends online through Telegram chats like that, also do fursuit making or art as well. Going to conventions has been awesome too, because I just get to experience a new level of social stuff, and I get to see people when there are, I get to see people when they're truly happiest, and I think that's awesome.